Hey, seventh grade. So I'm here with the questions for chapters 1 through 3 with Rosa Parks, with her novel that we're reading this time. And I'm going to be going over the questions like we normally would in class. So I'm going to read the question, and then on the board behind me, I have the answers written down. So if you need to pause the video to answer the questions or whatever you may need to do, but I'll also be reading them as well. So for number 1, what caused Rose's grandfather to dislike white people? And so for that one, we have, it's kind of long, but you have a lot of lines to write down. It says Rose's grandfather didn't like white people because he was young. When he was younger, his family lived on a plantation taken over by a white man who beat Rose's grandfather every time he saw him. He also wasn't given much food by this man or clothing. Like, he was just given very little. And so that's what made him dislike the white people so much, because he just had like a bad experience, basically. For number 2, you're going to place the following events that led to Rosa and her mother moving in with her grandparents in the order of which they happened. So I have that here. So the first event is the last one. Rosa's father decides to move the family in with his family in Aidville. The second thing happened was Rosa's father decides he wants to go north. And then the last thing that happened was Rosa's mother does not want to live with her husband's family, especially since now he's moved away for his job. All right, number 3, I have that one right here. It says, how does Rosa feel about her brother? C, she is protective of him. Number 4, it says, in the sentence, you didn't retaliate if they did something to you. What does retaliate mean? And so that would be B, get even. You didn't get even with the person. So basically, she's talking about like if a white person did something to a black person, you didn't retaliate. You didn't try to get back at them, because if you did, things would be way worse for you later, okay? And then number 5, I'm going to move this so you can see the answer a little better. All right, for number 5, it says, how did the black school that Rosa attended affect her view of racism? It says, the black school Rosa attended affected her view of racism because it made her realize while she was not a slave, okay, remember, Rosa, during her time, slavery was over. It was done. This was her grandfather that it happened to. But now she is, their family is no longer in slavery. Slavery has ended. And but she's saying the conditions were not much better than when they were in slavery, okay? That's what she's saying. And then I put a couple of other things. Let me move this over here so you guys can see this. All right. A couple other things that she said about number 5, it says white students were treated better and they had better schools. Those were some of the ways in why that affected her view. There was one other thing I want to tell you guys. Oh, they had, she realized she went to an old school and she had to walk there, and they didn't go to school for as long either. They had shortened times, which you guys probably think is great to not go to school as long, but at the time it wasn't fair because they felt like the white people were getting a better education than them. Okay, number 6. Why did Rosa's grandmother scold her when she threatened to throw a brick at Franklin, which was the other little boy that you read about? And it's B, it was dangerous for African Americans to react to whites who made fun of them. But Rosa wasn't that type of person. She wasn't that type of person to just sit back and not say anything. It was really hard for her to do that because that just wasn't in her personality. All right, number 7, what does Rosa say about white people at the end of chapter 2? Rosa says that not all white people were mean to African Americans. She didn't grow up hating whites. In fact, she did have one good experience. She said it was with an old white lady who took her fishing when she was younger. The lady treated her and her family like everyone else, and so that gave Rosa a good impression of white people. So that's why she said she didn't. It wasn't like she grew up and she just hated white people. That wasn't how it was for her. Number 8, the question is, how did Rosa's grandmother and mother getting sick affect Rosa's life? And for number 8, Rosa's grandmother and mother getting sick affected her because she had to drop out of high school to take care of them. And then after, I just kind of abbreviated this right here, after her grandmother died, she went to work in a factory. Rosa was not happy about dropping out of school because she really liked school and she liked to learn and she wanted to get a good education. It was really important to her. So that was how her mother and grandmother getting sick kind of affected her. She did not complete her education until after she was married. So she did finally get to complete it, but it was not until after she got married. All right, and then our last two, you can see my answers over here for number 9 and 10. Number 9, the question says, why didn't Rosa live with her cousin Ida? And it's D. Cousin Ida wanted to legally adopt Rosa, and her mother did not want that. And then number 10, how would Rosa's life have been different if she did not move to Montgomery? And that would have been D. She would not have experienced as much segregation and racism. So I hope that that helps with the questions for chapters 1 through 3. And if you guys have any other thoughts, questions, concerns about anything for the book, y'all just reach out to me, either text or call or email me. So you guys have a good day. Bye.